Welcome back. I'm delighted now to introduce Krista Morrison, who is our clinical manager of home support. Krista, you brought with you 2 new employees. Would you like to introduce them?
Yes, I certainly would. I'm very happy to introduce our 2 new schedulers that just joined our team for a couple months. The first one will be Brandy Simons, who's sitting right next to me. And the other one is Nahid, who everyone is very familiar with at Green Springs, and she worked in the dining department. So we've been very busy orienting a lot of new staff. I believe the last time we were on Channel 6, we actually had Gary, who is our biller, and another new scheduler. So we have 4 schedulers, makes up the components of home support.
You have 4 schedulers?
Yes, we do.
Wow.
So we have a lot of scheduling going on. So I wanted to bring them and let them talk about themselves a little bit today and what they've done before in the past. So Brandy, would you like to start off?
Okay. So my background, I have in healthcare administration, and so I have a few years of experience in the geriatric population, came from assisted living, and so I worked closely with a lot of CNAs, GNAs, so I've had that previous exposure, and so it's kind of helped me in this role now because I'm familiar of what is expected of them, training processes, you know, customer service, access to medical services, and kind of those coordinating pieces that kind of help facilitate the whole medical service, residential experience.
Sounds very appropriate. Terrific.
And I have been at Green Spring. I was at Green Spring for about 9 years, and then I left for a different opportunity in a different retirement community in Woodbridge. And then I missed Green Spring so much and the residents that I bonded with for 9 years. So then I was lucky enough, got the opportunity to come back. I wanted to try something different other than dining. I did food for like 10 years. I was in dining industry. So I wanted to try something different, and it was a great opportunity to be able to come and work with home support. Learned a lot of new things that I really didn't know about home support, and this opportunity this job gave me the opportunity to learn more about what the residents need, their medical needs, and all the other stuff that the home support aides do. So it would be my first time working in an office all day because I'm usually used to walking around on my feet in the dining room, being visible. Now I'm hidden in the office, but I love it. I truly enjoy it.
Well, I think it speaks very well for both you and Green Spring that you're willing to come back here in a different kind of position. Good for you.
And hopefully we've met your challenges.
At least, I'm guessing.
There was one of the things that she wanted to do a little bit different. We would have different challenges, but she certainly can see how it all, you know, how we're all related.
Yes.
Yeah, how we all care. It's just a different type of caring for the residents.
Yes, that's a nice way of putting it.
It is. It is.
And we all know how really serious scheduling is for residents in terms of continuity, getting the same aides from one day to the next and that kind of thing, which I know has always been an issue with home support.
Very much so.
Krista, are you finding now that you have four schedulers, you've never had 4 before, have you?
We have had 4 before.
You have had 4?
Yes.
All right. Are you finding it is easier now with fewer part-time or full-time with 4 schedulers that you can maintain pretty much the same schedules for folks?
Well, it's making it easier. And
all right.
that's
Not
for sure.
perfect, I'm sure.
Right, right, because we still have the challenges with the staff and their availability to us.
Right.
But as soon as Brandy has been with us about a month?
Yeah.
About a month. So she's still kind of learning her role. The scheduling coordinator position is very difficult. Just to use the system in and out, they may say it's easier than what I think, but I
just
think
the software itself?
It is. It is. Everything is manually entered, you know, so it's not something that can carry on from month to month. And eventually, hopefully by the end of the year, we can put residents' name in and keep those aides attached. But once you push somebody out in their schedule, what it does is on a recurrence report, it could be from 6 weeks to 3 months. Kind of depends on how many visits they have that you have to go back in and re-enter things.
Oh, my goodness. All right,
Right,
that would
right.
be laborious.
So,
Are you changing software?
we're not, but they're updating it,
I
and that's
see.
the good news.
All right,
that
all
we're
right.
having. Yeah.
Yes, that, I can see that would really be tedious.
Right.
I mean, if I can add, it's going to take some time to pretty much master it, but the more we kind of play with it, it comes easier every day. But kind of at the end of the day, at the end of the week, when you see things kind of come together as a whole, it's rewarding. And then on top of that, the feedback that you get from the residents that all worked out well. So it's, it's a process, but it's an adventure at the same time. So.
Well, I think both of them have lovely attitudes, don't they?
Very much so.
That certainly makes a big difference. Krista, have the number of hours per month continued to rise?
They are been somewhat stabilized.
Stable?
Yes, which is good because this year was supposed to be the year of stabilization. Last year we were growing a lot.
I remember that you were.
Really quickly, and so it's really nice to be able to step back and get new people in, trained in their position, which also brings me to another point. We've just hired an assistant manager for home support, and she'll be joining us hopefully in the middle of June.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, so we're really looking forward for her coming.
All right, so you're going to be
Helping
pretty
out.
much fully staffed at that point. then?
Correct, correct.
Okay. Well, that's been a while coming.
That is, it really has. So we're really happy
All
with
right.
that.
All right, so you've pretty much plateaued out at the moment for home support. Okay, well, I'm sure you needed to.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
one has to seek stability at some point.
Right, right. And with people leaving positions and new people coming in,
Yes.
those titles have changed. So we actually have a different coordinator position that they're working under than the previous schedulers. They have more assigned duties to them, and their position is a little broader. They'll soon be taking referrals for people calling in and then passing it on to the RN, and et cetera. So there's different processes. We're updating a lot. There's a re-engineering process going on Erickson-wide, and they're supposed to come to Green Springs somewhere probably in the fall, which will bring new processes and hopefully be more accurate and more efficient with what we do. So.
All right, so will corporate actually be training folks?
They will be on site.
All right. Are you also getting more stability in terms of your aides? I mean, I know aides just, there is a huge turnover, isn't there?
There has been, and what we did last year is we actually, what should I say, a lot of the flex aides ended up in full-time and part-time positions because they were working many, many hours, so it was to their benefit and our benefit, so therefore the continuity can be greater,
Yes.
and that's what we were hoping for.
What percentage of your home aides at this point are full-time?
It's probably about 50-50.
Is it that high now? Yeah, that certainly is a
It
huge
is.
improvement.
It is. It really is. So we're reaching out a lot of different ways to the residents, not only trying to stabilize our forces in order to meet their needs a little bit quicker and maybe a little more satisfactory is what we're trying to do. One of the things we've done, started last month, is we do care plan updates every 60 days, and it's a state regulation that if somebody has our aid services, then we go out every 60 days to do a care plan update, which we've always done. But what we're trying to do is actually do they do supervisory visits at that time, but trying to increase the supervision on the staff that is out there. And that will help the more satisfaction to make sure that if there's things that have changed in 2 or 3 weeks, then we can go ahead and make that adjustment, but at the same time have more supervision with the aide. So entering their visit unexpectedly, looking at their tasks that they've been assigned, and hopefully helping them, if they have challenges that we can meet so that everyone, the aide is satisfied, the resident is satisfied, they get more updated care. And so that's what we're working to, is to have more on-site training for the aides when they're in the home, in helping them maneuver different things, because every scenario is different in every home.
Of course.
And the expectations from residents are different in each home.
And
It
they're
could be-
probably even changing in terms of a single resident.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what you're
Because-
saying, too.
Yes, because if they come home from the hospital, they're a different client than 3 or 4 weeks out.
Yes,
You know.
of course.
So anyway, we're finding out that that's been very beneficial to the residents, as well as our aides.
Does that involve then increasing the number of supervisors?
It doesn't. It doesn't. What that does is create more oversight to what the aides are doing in the home, which is a benefit. The aides like it. They feel very good when they see the supervisor. We thought it might be impromptu, and they get a little, concerned about why is and they did. That's the first thing that they thought of is, am I doing something
When
wrong?
the supervisor
Yes,
appeared
right,
suddenly out of
unexpectedly.
nowhere.
But I
Right.
also have brought questions from the residents.
I
'Cause
can
they were
believe
calling
it.
in and saying,
What's going
why
on
are they
here?
coming so frequently?
Right,
What is
right,
going on?
right,
So
right.
they've gotten concerned too. So we've tried to get that information out to them as
Oh, that's
as well.
interesting. So you're allaying fears
Yes,
as much as anything.
right, absolutely.
Okay. Well, that certainly sounds like a good goal, though, to be
Right.
providing enough supervision. And do the residents seem to feel more comfortable in telling you what they would like and what they don't like? And
I think we do post-satisfaction visits. We had grew so
oh, you do?
we grew so fast last year that we weren't able to do them consistently. So that's one of our goals, trying to see the admissions within a 2 or 3 week period of time. So that managers can go over, make some of those visits, have the nurses help us make those visits. So again, not necessarily updating the care plan, but that happens a lot on those visits, but also increasing their awareness that, you've just come home from the hospital, but if you still want us 2 or 3 times a week, you
Right.
can have it. A lot of people
Indefinitely.
feel that we are either a long-term service
Right.
or we're short-term.
Right.
It's not, we can do it you 2 or 3 times a week. So hopefully, if they do on those visits also, it's customer service, which means we have different questions that we ask when we go in. So if they're dissatisfied with something or they have a concern, we certainly, as a manager, as the resident right there, can take care of it face to face. And it's a lot of re-education with the client, as well as, that's the way the aide perceives himself in the home. So it's a lot of learning and a lot of good conversations have come out of those visits. It also has helped, even though they're a client of home support, it helps other residents because they are able to voice what home support does for
that
them.
was going to be my next question.
Exactly.
I think we all have observed a number of folks here who probably could use some help and are really not familiar with the kinds of help that is available.
Right,
And how do
exactly.
you make that known to residents?
Right. So we are trying to pick up the marketing aspect. We had so much growth last year that it was really hard to stay on top of that.
All
But
right.
this year we're definitely going to go back to that.
All right. Okay.
so.
Yeah, I can imagine. You were just rushing to try to meet needs at that point.
Right.
Yeah. No, they're just clearly. We're all aging in place,
Right.
and our needs are changing. I think as a group of people. Well, Krista, I see our time is about up. I'm so glad the two of you came today. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being
having
at
us.
Greenspring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to leave us with?
I don't think so. We appreciate the opportunity to be on Channel 6 again.
Well, we're glad to have you today. Well, I think we'll stop now and have some announcements. And Krista, I'm going to ask you to read the brain teaser momentarily. We'll start with the announcements, and then I'll give you the brain teaser. All right. Get the right page out here.